It started on a normal Tuesday. The sky was clear. Birds flew in the morning light. People walked to work. Children went to school. Everything felt safe. Then the sky cracked. At first, it was just a sound, like thunder, but deeper. People looked up. A dark shadow moved across the sun. Phones came out. People recorded. Some laughed. Some thought it was a movie stunt. But it was real. A ship, larger than any mountain, floated above Earth's largest cities: New York, London, Delhi, Tokyo, Cape Town, Sydney. It covered the sky like a dark curtain. Its surface was smooth and black, with glowing blue lines. It made no sound. It didn't need to. From the center of the ship, a beam of light shot down. A figure appeared in the sky. A hologram, tall and strong, with sharp armor and burning eyes. He spoke in a strange voice, deep and clear. "We are the Zarnak. We watched your world for a long time. You are weak. Your stories are lies. Your legends are foolish. We will now take your planet." People froze. Some screamed. Others cried. The military tried to respond. Jets flew up to the sky, but before they reached the ship, they exploded in midair like dust blown in the wind. The alien laughed. "You think your little toys can hurt us? We crushed stronger worlds. You are nothing." In an underground base somewhere in the mountains, a human watched the screen. He was not a soldier, not a leader, just a quiet man in a white lab coat. His name was Dr. Rehan. The generals around him shouted orders. Alarms rang, the base shook from fear. But Rehan stayed calm. He leaned closer to a young soldier beside him and whispered, "They don't know what Earth is. They think we are soft. They think our legends are just stories." The soldier frowned. "Aren't they?" Rehan smiled a little. "No, they are warnings." Meanwhile, in the alien ship, General Zarkin, the one who spoke to Earth, stood in a large hall filled with alien troops. They looked strong and proud. Some had 3 arms. Some had metal skin. All of them laughed. One soldier said, "Did you hear what these humans believe? They talk about dragons and hidden cities, magic swords, secret guardians." Another said, "One even said there's a monster sleeping under their ocean." Sarkin growled, "Foolish myths. They tell bedtime stories to feel brave." He walked to a large screen. It showed human history. Books, movies, carvings, paintings, so many stories. They dream of heroes because they know they are weak. But then something on the screen blinked. One symbol. It looked simple, a circle with a line through it. But Zarkin stopped walking. He stared at it. "Pause," he ordered. The room went quiet. He pointed to the symbol. "This, we have seen before." An alien scientist looked closer. "Yes, General. This matches the markings found on Sector X-13, the planet we lost." Zarkin growled. That planet was not destroyed. It vanished. The troops no longer laughed. Back on Earth, Rehan walked through the base halls. He reached a locked door. 2 guards stopped him. He showed a card. They let him in. Inside was a dark room with strange machines. The lights flickered. Rehan stood before a sealed case. Inside was a glowing stone shaped like the same symbol, a circle with a line. He touched the glass. They found the mark. "They'll come looking now." Behind him, a voice spoke. It was a woman in a military coat. Her name was Commander Terra. "You said they would never come back." Rehan nodded slowly. "I hoped. But the legends always said they would." Terra stepped forward. "Then it's time. Do we wake them?" Rehan looked at the wall. On it were 6 cryopods. Each held a human sleeping inside. Each one looked different, old, powerful. He whispered, "Yes. We, the old protectors, the guardians, must rise." In space, inside the alien ship, a new message appeared. "Warning. Unknown signal detected. Origin: Earth. General Zarkin narrowed his eyes. "What are you hiding, little planet?" The alien ship stayed in Earth's sky like a dark moon. No one knew what would happen next. People were scared. Cities turned quiet. The internet was full of questions. In schools, children asked, "Are they going to kill us?" In homes, families held hands and prayed. But far from the noise, deep inside a hidden mountain base, something old was waking up. Dr. Rehan stood in the cold room with the 6 cryopods. The lights turned green. The glass on each pod started to slide open. One by one, the sleepers opened their eyes. They looked human, but not normal. Their eyes glowed faintly. Their skin had strange marks, lines that shimmered like metal. These were the guardians, protectors from Earth's forgotten past. Commander Terra stepped back. "I thought they were just legends." "They were," Rehan said, "until now." The oldest guardian, a woman with white hair and silver eyes, spoke first. "How long?" "Almost 200 years," Rehan answered. She nodded slowly. "Then it's time. The enemy has returned." Above the planet, inside the alien mothership, General Zarkin walked into a lab full of strange machines. His best scientist showed him the warning from Earth. "There is a signal," the scientist said. "It is very old. It was hidden under Earth's surface. We believed it was locked. Until now." Zarkin stared at the screen. "They are waking something. Maybe someone. Send a scout team. I want it found." 3 alien ships flew down to Earth. They were fast, shaped like knives, and carried hunters trained to fight anything. They did not expect what they would find. The ships landed in the mountains. The hunters moved silently through the forest. Their scanners beeped. One hunter pointed. "There. Underground." But before they could enter, the ground shook. A guardian stepped out. He was tall and strong, holding a long silver spear that glowed with fire. The lead hunter laughed. "A human with a stick." The guardian said nothing. He moved fast, too fast. In 10 seconds, all 3 hunters were down. The last one tried to crawl back to his ship, bleeding. The guardian bent down and whispered in his ear, "Tell your general, we remember everything." Back in the base, Dr. Rehan showed a map on the screen. Red dots appeared in different parts of the world. "These are the old sites," he said. "Places where ancient human knowledge is hidden. We must reach them before the aliens do." Terra asked, "What's there?" "Power, secrets, the code." "The code?" Rehan nodded. "The human code. It's not a machine. It's a memory. A message passed down through bloodlines, stories, and dreams." Commander Terra didn't understand, but she knew one thing. Earth was not what it seemed. At the same time, people across the world started dreaming strange things. A boy in Brazil saw a city under the sea. A girl in Kenya saw a giant tree with silver roots. An old man in China saw fire raining from the sky and heard a voice, "Wake up." Something was calling them. Rehan knew what it was. The Earth itself is responding. The human code is not just in us. It's in the planet. The Guardians began their mission. Each one took a different path, to the desert, the jungle, the ocean, and the ice. They had to reach the old sites before the Zarnek did. In space, the injured alien hunter arrived back on the mothership. His body was broken. His voice was weak. General Zarkin leaned over him. "What happened?" The hunter's eyes were wide with fear. "Not myths, real. They remember us." Zarkin's face turned dark. "Impossible. That war ended ages ago. We erased their minds." The scientist spoke up. "Maybe not all of them." Zarkin slammed his fist into the wall. "Find the source of this human code and destroy it." Meanwhile, Rehan opened an old book inside the base. The pages were yellow and torn. It had no title. Inside was the first map, drawn by hand, lines, dots, and one strange phrase written again and again. "When the sky breaks, the earth will whisper back." Rehan smiled. "They thought we forgot, but we never did. We just waited." The Guardians had gone. Each one moved toward the old sites hidden around the world. Their mission was simple: unlock the past before the aliens erased it. But the past didn't sleep quietly. It waited, and now it was waking. Guardian Kale stood on a frozen cliff in Antarctica. The wind howled. Snow flew like knives, but Kale didn't move. His hand pressed against a large rock, cold, black, smooth. It wasn't a normal rock. It was a door, hidden by ice, older than any human city, and deep behind it, something stirred. Kale whispered, "Time to remember." The door opened. Far away, in a secret space aboard the Zarnak mothership, General Zarkin entered a locked chamber. Inside were ancient boxes. Dust covered them. No one came here anymore. He opened one. Inside was a glowing stone with a human symbol on it, the same circle with a line. A voice behind him asked, "Why are you opening the archive?" It was his second in command. Zarkin answered, "Because Earth is not what we thought. They still carry the human code." "But we wiped their minds," the second in command said. "Long ago, after the war." Zarkin stared at the stone. "Maybe we wiped the wrong part." Back on Earth, in a desert beneath the sand, Guardian Nira entered a massive cave. Inside were giant stone walls covered in pictures, drawn by ancient humans. But these were not animals or tribes. These were battles. Humans fighting aliens, flying ships in the sky, strange weapons glowing with light. Nira placed her hand on one of the walls. It lit up. A voice echoed through the cave. It was soft and old, like a memory itself. "If you hear this, then the war has returned." Nira's eyes widened. "This is a warning," the voice continued. "They came before. They will come again. Only the code can stop them." At the same time, Dr. Rian sat in his lab reading the old book. Each page showed signs, symbols, stories. He stopped at one page. There was a picture of 6 people standing in front of a great fire, and above them, what looked like the Zarnak mothership. Under the picture were only 4 words: "We beat them once." Rihan stood quickly. "I need to show this to the council." Commander Terra asked, "What is it?" He looked at her. "Proof. We already won this war long ago, but the world forgot, on purpose." In a jungle deep in South America, Guardian Malik stepped through thick vines. He followed an old trail. Birds flew away as he moved. The trees grew darker. The air changed. Then he saw it. A city. Ancient, covered in plants, but still standing. In the center was a tall tower with one strange symbol on it, the circle with a line. Inside, Malik found carvings, humans standing beside huge beasts. Dragons, serpents, birds with wings of fire. Not fairy tales. Allies. He touched one carving. It moved. A secret room opened. Inside was a metal egg, glowing softly. Malik said, "You slept long enough." Meanwhile, back in space, the Zarnak army studied all human myths, gods, monsters, magic weapons. One scientist said, "These cannot be real." Another replied, "And yet, they match our records from the First War." Sarkin growled, "Then maybe these myths were just reports, twisted by time." He turned to the window and looked down at Earth. "They say humans forget, but now I wonder, what if they remember just enough?" In a cold chamber below the ocean, Guardian Kale stood before an ancient machine. He placed the glowing stone, same as the one Zarkin had, in a hole. The machine came alive. Holograms lit the room. Images of the first alien invasion. Humans using powerful tools. Beams of light from pyramids. Shields made from energy. Old Earth had power. But most shocking, the final scene showed the humans winning. Not by force. By sealing something. Kale whispered, "What did we lock away?" The answer came in a single line from the machine. "The first weapon is not a thing. It is a person." At the base, Rehan showed the council everything. The old books, the carvings, the messages from the old sites. One leader asked, "Are you saying these stories are real?" Rehan replied, "Not stories, history. The aliens didn't just attack us before. They lost, and when they lost, they made us forget." Terra asked, "Then who remembered?" Rehan looked toward the cryopods, the Guardians. They did. But in the last scene, as the Guardians each reached their destinations, something else moved. Deep below the earth, a set of eyes opened. Old. Angry. Not human. Something had been sealed away a long time ago. And now, it was waking too. The Guardians had each unlocked pieces of the past. Earth's forgotten history was no longer a secret. The truth was clear now. The war happened before. Humans fought back. And something was sealed away. But not everything from the past wanted to be remembered. Some things were locked for a reason. Deep in the Pacific Ocean, a hidden signal began to pulse. It was slow, soft, like a heartbeat. No human satellite noticed it. But the Zarnak ship did. Inside the command room, General Zarkin watched the signal with narrow eyes. "What is this place?" His science officers zoomed in on the screen. "It's not on any human map. No city. No ruins. Just water." Zarkin leaned closer. The signal flashed again. The same symbol appeared. The circle with the line. "Prepare the dig team. We're going down." Back on Earth, inside the base, Dr. Rien stared at the same signal. It had appeared on his old machine, a device built to find ancient energy. Commander Terra frowned. "What is that?" Rehan spoke slowly. "The Forbidden Zone." She looked confused. "What's forbidden about it?" Rehan looked up from the screen. "Everything. It's the only place where even the Guardians never went." In the frozen base beneath Antarctica, Guardian Kale felt something change. His connection to Earth's energy pulsed harder now. The planet was warning them. "It's open," he whispered. Across the world, all Guardians paused at once. They heard the same voice in their minds. "Do not go there. It was sealed for your protection." But they also knew something else. If the Zarnak reached it first, the war would be lost. A special Guardian team was formed. 4 of them joined Rehan and Terra on a secret submarine. They dived deep into the Pacific, following the signal. Rehan explained, "Long ago, during the First War, the humans used a weapon they couldn't control. It was alive. It turned on both sides." Terra asked, "Then why keep it?" Rehan replied, "Because it was the only thing the aliens feared." As the submarine reached the bottom, giant gates came into view. They weren't made by humans or aliens. They were older. Strange symbols glowed on the stone walls. The gates stood tall, covered in coral and seaweed, but untouched by time. The Guardians stepped out first. The water didn't touch them. Their armor created a field of light. They placed their hands on the gate. It opened. Inside was darkness. And in the darkness, something breathed. Meanwhile, above the ocean, 3 Zarnak ships hovered. Zarkin's dig team landed on a floating platform and dropped a metal drill straight into the sea. They didn't care what was below. They just wanted to open it. The moment the drill hit the gate, the ocean shook. Waves crashed, storms formed, the sky turned black. Earth was angry. Inside the Forbidden Zone, Rehan and the Guardians walked through a tunnel lit by blue light. The walls were covered in writing. One Guardian read it out loud. "The first weapon was not born, it was made." Rehan added, "It was human once, but we changed it. Gave it all our fear, all our pain, all our hope. We thought we could control it." Suddenly, the lights flickered. A voice echoed in the chamber. "Not a machine, not a ghost. A person. Who comes to wake me again?" The Guardians stopped. A shape appeared at the end of the tunnel. A figure in a long cloak. Eyes glowing like stars. Rian stepped forward. We need you. The Zarnak have returned. The figure didn't move. And what did you do with your last gift? Rihan lowered his eyes. We forgot. We let time erase you. The figure raised its hand. Light flickered. Behind it, a wall slid open, revealing a massive chamber full of ancient machines, floating stones, and glowing energy. At the center, a throne made of fire. And sitting on it was a child. Still, silent, eyes closed, breathing softly. The figure whispered, "The first weapon sleeps. If you wake them, there will be no going back." Above, the Zarnak drill cracked the outer gate. The sky roared. Winds turned wild. Birds vanished. Tides pulled back. Nature itself fought to protect what was hidden. But Sarkin didn't stop. Let it wake. We'll break it this time. Inside the chamber, Rihan made his choice. He walked to the child. The guardians stood around him, forming a circle. Rihan placed his hand on the child's heart. You once saved the world. We need you again. The child opened their eyes. They were not the eyes of a child. They were the eyes of a storm. The child sat on the throne of fire, eyes open, calm. But something ancient burned behind those eyes, something powerful and dangerous. Dr. Rian stepped back, unsure. Commander Terra whispered, "This is the first weapon." The Guardians didn't answer, because they knew this was not just a weapon. This was judgment. Far above the ocean, Zarnak ships floated like dark clouds. General Zarkin watched the storm below. His officer spoke, nervous. The planet is reacting. The sea. It's fighting us. Zarkin growled, "Let it try." The alien drill cracked deeper into the forbidden zone. Inside the chamber, the child stood. Their voice echoed, soft but heavy, like thunder hiding behind clouds. You woke me. Why? Rihan stepped forward. The enemy returned. They forgot what you are. The child blinked. And you? Did you forget too? Rihan paused. Yes, but now, we remember. The child looked at the Guardians. And do you accept the price? The Guardians knelt. We do. Terra asked, what price? The child looked at her with eyes full of stars. Me. The chamber shook. Machines lit up. Walls opened. Floating stones revealed ancient codes, data left behind by old human minds. A message, a command, a plan. The child walked to the center. Fire rose around them, but it didn't burn. Instead, the fire took shape. Armor formed around the child, piece by piece, smooth metal, glowing lines, symbols from every human language. They were becoming the first weapon again, and the world knew it. Every bird stopped flying. Every dog stopped barking. Every tree held still. Earth held its breath. Far away, people across the planet felt it. A blind girl in India suddenly saw fire in the sky. A prisoner in Russia screamed in fear, then began to pray. A pilot flying over the Pacific lost control. His compass spun wildly. Something old had awakened. The child, now in full armor, spoke again. They broke the skies before. This time, we break back. The Guardians stood with the child. Their weapons glowed. Terra asked, what do we do now? Rihan looked up at the ceiling. We go to war. Back on the surface, the storm exploded. Waves the size of mountains hit the Zarnak drill. One of the ships was torn in half. The others struggled to stay in the air. Sarkin watched, stunned. His officer yelled, we made a mistake. We woke the weapon. Sarkin shouted, no, we finish it. Ready the cannon. They aimed a massive energy cannon toward the ocean floor. A red light gathered. But before it could fire, the sea opened. The child rose from the depths. Floating, glowing, silent. The Zarnak cannon fired. A beam of red death shot toward the child. The child raised a hand and stopped it midair. The energy beam froze, like a toy, and then bent backward. The child whispered, "No," and the beam shot back at the Zarnak ship, cutting it in half. The sky burned. The ocean hissed. All across the world, people looked up. And for the first time in many generations, humans did not feel fear. They felt hope. In the space above Earth, the Zarnak mothership prepared to flee. Zarkin watched the screen. He had seen wars. He had destroyed planets. But this was something else. How did we ever win before? His science officer answered, shaking. We didn't. They let us go. They locked this power away. They chose peace. Zarkin whispered, then why are they unlocking it now? On Earth, the child gave the answer. Because you came back. Back in the secret base, Rehan looked at Terra. This is it, he said. The final pieces are in place. The first weapon has returned. And now, Terra finished his sentence. Now we fight the real war. But somewhere deeper, beneath even the forbidden zone, something else moved. A shadow. Older than the aliens. Older than the weapon. It had no name. No face. But it had waited, through time, through silence, and through legends. And now that the weapon was awake, so was it. The world was no longer silent. The sky roared. The oceans moved. The wind carried one message. Earth was awake. The first weapon had returned. And now it was time to fight. In the air above the Pacific, the Zarnak fleet regrouped. Ships circled like metal birds of war, engines glowing, weapons armed. Inside the mothership, General Zarkin stared at the main screen. Target the child, he growled. His second-in-command hesitated. General, that's not a child anymore. That's something else. Zarkin's eyes narrowed. Then treat it like the threat it is. On Earth, the Guardians and humans prepared. Commander Terra stood with Dr. Rehan at the control center. How many ships left? Rehan checked the radar. 4 Zarnak warships. 1 mothership. All headed straight for us. Terra nodded. Then we meet them halfway. Behind them, the weapon floated, still silent, watching the skies. Rehan turned to it. Do you remember what they did to you? The weapon spoke. I remember everything. Above the clouds, the war began. Zarnak ships fired lasers, missiles, energy blasts. The weapon moved faster than light. Each attack was blocked, reflected, sent back. 1 warship exploded in seconds. Another spun out of the sky. But the mothership was stronger, older, full of ancient tech. It released dark drones, thousands of them. Metal bugs that swarmed like a storm. They rushed the weapon. And for a moment, the sky disappeared behind them. On the ground, the Guardians activated old machines from Earth's hidden sites, defense towers, sky turrets, and shields made of pure light. The towers fired upward, destroying drones midair. The weapon broke through the swarm like fire through dry leaves. But something was wrong. The drones weren't just weapons. They were bait. Inside the Zarnak mothership, Zarkin smiled. It's working. The weapon is distracted. The science officer pulled up a new screen. A second signal was rising from under the planet. Not human. Not Zarnak. Something else. Something older. We found it, the officer whispered. The Shadow Core. Zarkin clenched his fists. Unleash it. Back on Earth, the weapon paused. A sound filled the air. Low, cold, like a growl from the bottom of the universe. The Guardians froze. Kale spoke first. That's not from the Zarnak. Rehan's eyes went wide. That's what we sealed away before. Not the weapon. The real danger. The sky above split open. Black lightning crashed. The clouds turned into smoke. And from the crack in the sky, it came. A shape with no face. A body made of shadows and teeth. A being that fed on fear. The Void Beast. Thousands of years ago, it tried to consume Earth. Back then, humans created the weapon to fight it. They won, but at a cost. The weapon was too powerful, so they sealed both away, forever. Until now. The Void Beast roared. Its voice shattered windows, cracked stone, made birds fall from the sky. Humans screamed. Machines failed. Zarnak soldiers panicked. Even General Zarkin took a step back. "What have we done?" he said. But it was too late. The beast was free. The weapon rose higher, face to face with the creature. Terra whispered, "Can it stop that?" Rian didn't answer, because he wasn't sure. The battle began. The weapon fired beams of white light. The beast swallowed them. It countered with black fire. The weapon dodged, but the sky turned red. Each time the weapon attacked, the beast grew larger, stronger, wilder. Down below, the Guardians started to fall. One by one, they lost contact with the weapon. Kale gasped, "It's fading." Rihan whispered, "It's burning too fast." Terra asked, "What do we do?" Rihan looked around, then at her. "We help her remember why it was made." Together, the Guardians stood. They raised their hands. They spoke the ancient code. One line, one truth. You were not made to destroy. You were made to protect. The weapon froze midair. Its armor flickered. Its eyes closed. And then, it changed. Its body grew larger, brighter, more human. Wings of light spread from its back. The sky turned blue again. And for the first time, the Void Beast stopped moving. The weapon lifted its hands. A circle of energy formed. Inside it, every memory of Earth. Laughter, war, art, music, loss, love. And it whispered, "You cannot eat what has no fear." Then the weapon charged. One final strike. One scream. One flash. The sky went silent. The shadows vanished. The beast was gone. And the weapon was falling. Terra ran outside. She looked up. Rian yelled there. The weapon crashed into the ocean, gone beneath the waves. Silent. Zarkin stared from above. No. His fleet began to retreat. They had lost again. Not to power. To will. Back at the base, everyone was quiet. Until a single signal came through. A heartbeat. The weapon was still alive, but weak. Rian smiled. It's over. For now. The war was over. The sky had stopped burning. The shadows were gone. And the world was quiet again. But the weapon, the one who saved everything, was still underwater, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, silent and still. In the command base, Commander Terra stood with Dr. Rihan. The room was full of voices and reports, but their focus was only on one signal. A slow heartbeat. Rihan watched the screen. It's alive, but barely. Terra asked, "Can we bring it back?" Rihan didn't answer at first. Then he whispered, "Only if it chooses to return." Deep in the ocean trench, the weapon floated, half awake, energy dim. Its mind drifted between dreams and memories. It saw, the moment it was created, by human hands full of hope. The first war with the Zarnak and the shadows. The pain of being sealed away. And now, the choice. It heard Rihan's voice in its memory. You were made to protect. But something inside the weapon asked, what am I now? In space, the damaged Zarnak mothership hovered near the moon. General Zarkin stood alone, watching Earth from the window. His second-in-command spoke behind him. We lost. Again. Zarkin nodded. Yes, but this time, I saw the truth. The officer asked, will we attack again? Zarkin shook his head. No, let the legends stay legends. And for the first time in Zarnak history, they left. On Earth, the people began to speak. At first in whispers, then in stories. Did you see it? The child of fire? It stopped the aliens. No, it stopped something worse than aliens. It saved us all. The weapon became a name spoken across villages, cities, towers, even space stations. They called it the Guardian Flame, the Star Child, the Last Light. But Rehan only called it one thing: hope. In Antarctica, the Guardians met in the frozen chamber. Kale placed a glowing stone on the floor. A new symbol appeared, a mix of old and new languages. He said to the others, "The war is over, but our purpose continues." They all nodded. "We protect the truth. We protect the legends, because they are real." Weeks passed. The world began to rebuild. And then one day on a quiet beach, the sea began to glow. Waves pulled back, light rose from the ocean. Children ran to the shore. Fishermen stopped working. Everyone stared. The weapon walked out of the water. Not floating, not armored, just walking, like a person. Tara and Rehan arrived in a helicopter. They landed, ran forward. The weapon stood on the sand, skin shining like soft fire, eyes calm and ancient. Rehan asked, "Why now?" The weapon replied, "Because now, I choose to be here." Tara stepped closer. "What are you going to do?" The weapon looked at the sky. "I want to learn, to feel the world I saved, not as a weapon, but as a human." Later that night, at a global broadcast, the weapon appeared on screen beside Tara and Rehan. The world watched, some with awe, some with fear, most with hope. The weapon spoke. "You once created me out of fear. Now I return because of your courage. Protect your stories, honor your pain, share your truth. And remember, the smallest whisper can become the loudest legend." Somewhere in the galaxy, on a faraway planet, a young alien child asked his teacher, "Did the humans really fight back?" The teacher smiled. "No, they didn't fight back. They rose, and the galaxy still whispers their name."